Bauer is now down to third place overall behind Ronan Pensek and Claudio Chiappucci. Going into stage 11. It's the toughest stage with 16,000 feet of climbing over the Col de la Madeleine and the Glandon passes, leading to Alpe d'Huez. It's 182.5 kilometres. With long, steep gradients ahead, mechanics have fitted especially low gears.
Comment se sent-on en jaune?
Climbing is the speciality of race leader Pensek, who tells reporters, it's great to be in the yellow jersey, especially for the climbs to Alpe d'Huez. There are many anxious faces among the 180 riders, and 9 of them will have quit the race by the day's end. Approaching the Madeleine Pass, nervous riders touch wheels and Colombian William Palacio falls down, with the 5th place, Raul Alcala. The Madeleine is 25 kilometres long, where the brisk pace is set by Johan Bruneel of the Lotto team, and in the white, Charlie Motte of the French RMO squad. Alberto Volpi is the other rider on the far right. About 50 riders are still together as the summit finally appears into view. Riding strongly near the front is the rainbow jersey of the world champion Greg LeMond. And also looking comfortable is the man in the red spotted jersey, the leading climber of Clavarola. He's followed by Rux and the race leader Pensek. Into the final kilometre of the climb, only 35 riders remain in the front group. Over the 6,400 feet summit, Clavarola sprints clear. 7 seconds later, he's followed over the top by the Spanish rider Miguel Indurain, and just behind by Claude Coquillon and the rest of the leading group. After passing Clavarola on the Madeleine descent, Indurain starts the Glandon climb 35 seconds ahead of the Frenchman and a minute ahead of the main group. Clavarola takes advice from his team director Bernard Vallet, who as a rider once won the King of the Mountains, in fact in the 1982 Tour de France. Behind, the group is led by the Belgians Bruneel and Claude Coquillon, the yellow jersey of Ronan Pensek, Claudio Chiappucci, Charlie Motte and Greg LeMond, who's back in the group after falling and dislocating a finger at a feeding station. This is the other American, Andy Hampston, of the 7-Eleven team, and also here too is the Irishman Sean Kelly. Rider number 41, the Spaniard Marino Lajereta. Clavarola is now 3 minutes in front and has caught Miguel Indurain. While behind, Le Mans Z team keeps the pace steady, led by Norwegian Atle Volsvold, the Frenchman Cornier and Jerome Simon and Robert Miller. Le Mans has a good team with him this year. Approaching the Glandon summit, Clavarola has dropped Indurain, and the new King of the Mountains leader beats out a steady rhythm of climbing. 1 complete turn of the pedals every second. To an enormous cheer, Teddy Clavarola goes over the top of the climb. He's a local favourite, and he's carved out a lead of 82 seconds. The man who is behind Teddy Clavarola, it's still Miguel Indurain. 3.5 minutes behind the leader, the main group comes up towards the summit of the Glandon, where they're led by a sprinting Chiappucci. Just like yesterday, Clavarola is again out in front by himself. On the long downhill, Clavarola is pursued by Indurain, the more talented descender of the two. But Indurain has been caught by Lamond, Bunyol and Pedro Delgado. While the brave Clavarola continues his solo escapade, but he'll soon be caught. The chase is led by Indurain, working for his team leader, Pedro Delgado. This is Delgado. The benefit of having a man on your team in the chase group. Greg LeMond has to defend the interest of his teammate as well, Ronan Pensek, and he follows the breakaway. Indurain keeps up the ferocious pace ahead of the opportunist Gianni Bunyol. His eyes are on a stage win in the finish at Alpe d'Huez. Clavarola will soon be caught by this breakaway group. In which the stylish Indurain is doing the work of two men on this windswept road. Bunyol follows, and so too does Indurain's teammate Delgado. Indurain is doing all of the pulling for Delgado, whose turn will come on the final climb. Neither Tour of Italy winner Gianni Bunyol nor the ambitious Eduardo Chozas is helping Indurain, while Greg LeMond still follows as well. And Thierry Clavarola tries to recuperate from his long solo break. 2 minutes behind, Sean Kelly leads the chase with teammate Eric Breukink, while the yellow jersey of Pensek simply follows. Then in Bourg d'Oisans, with the Alpe d'Huez climb in sight ahead, Indurain finally sits up and drops away, leaving the other five to battle out the stage. Delgado immediately takes charge on the climb, pressurising Bunyol, Chozas, LeMond and Clavarola. Two and a half minutes behind, Robert Miller and Claude Coquillon leads the chase for Pensek, as Breukink follows on comfortably behind them all. Clavarola cannot keep pace on this steepest part of the 13 kilometres climb, and he too falls back. This leaves just Bunyol and LeMond in Delgado's wake. Behind, Indurain is caught and passed by the chase group. It's still being headed by Claude Coquillon, while Chiappucci, Colombian rider Abelardo Rondon and Pensek look quite at ease. Robert Miller rides particularly hard, followed by his teammate Pensek, Coquillon and Andy Hampsten. Pensek is defending his yellow jersey with energy and honour, focusing totally on the slim figure ahead of him of a seemingly tireless Robert Miller. Remarkably, Clavarola is catching back to the leaders. Delgado has suddenly tired, while Greg LeMond still follows and Bunyol still waits. The Alpe d'Huez climb is seeing yet another epic battle. Eric Breukink has ridden away from the chasers. And 3 kilometres from the summit, after a magnificent chase, he catches the four leaders. Behind, Andy Hampsten is showing his best climbing form for years, as Pensek hangs on at the back. At the front, Delgado is also dropped, as Breukink increases the pace. Poor Clavarola is struggling again. And this leaves only Bunyol and Greg LeMond on the wheel of Breukink. And as the leaders head into Alpe d'Huez, the Tour is again taking a decisive turn. Thierry Claverola fights back yet again into contention, but he's dropped once more, as another acceleration by Birking can only be followed by Greg LeMond and Gianni Bugno. They all want to win this most prestigious of stages. 1 kilometre from the finish now. The Colombian Fabio Parra is also catching up. Birking still leads and turns to see who's still with him. Parra continues to approach Thierry Claverola, and Pensek still follows Miller and Claude Quequillion. Through the ski village of Alpe d'Huez, this is now a classic battle. The three leaders are preparing their finishing effort and slow down. And Thierry Claverola, again he sprints up to join them. Parra joins the leaders as well, and 5 men head into the final corner, where LeMond dives between Bugno and Birking and almost falls. LeMond manages to correct himself, and he leads out the sprint from Bugno. The others are beaten. At first, LeMond appears to be winning. But as the finish line approaches, Gianni Bugno is just too strong and takes LeMond right on the line. He's the first Italian winner here since 1952. Crowd flock around the world's #1, Greg LeMond. But if you look at world rankings, you'll find that honour really belongs to Gianni Bugno. Bugno may have been the winner, but LeMond always attracts the media attention. They know that the American is now up to 3rd place overall, and is starting again to look like a potential winner of this tour. Greg LeMond loses his temper with a reporter, telling him not to touch him. He'll answer questions only after he's cleaned up. Delgado's teammate Rondon leads Andy Hampsten and his team leader up the final slope, and the exhausted Delgado loses only 40 seconds to LeMond. It could have been a lot worse. And for Andy Hampsten, it was for him a very good day on Alpe d'Huez. And for the veteran Claude Quequillion, while Pensek has exceeded all hopes by extending his overall lead over Claudio Chiappucci. He hasn't finished yet, while teammate Greg LeMond is still 9 minutes behind on overall time. Could Pensek now be the new hero that French cycling has been seeking? Gianni Bugno too has proved himself. And LeMond?
Is this the kind of Alpe d'Huez ride you knew you had inside of you?
Well, I wasn't certain of it, but I've been feeling really good. I crashed for the second last climb, and I didn't think I'd be that good on the climbs, but it kind of went into, not shock, but it shook me up quite a bit.
Tell me about the last 3 kilometers.
Well, we were starting out on the climb. Pedro Delgado did all the pacing. I mean, I felt really good, and you know, I had to do my work as a teammate. We had the lead, and it was only better that I didn't ride, but I felt kind of sorry for Pedro because he really rode strong, and we were practically standing still towards the last 5 kilometers, last 3 kilometers. And the main thing is I wanted to win the stage, and I was trying to control everybody, and almost went down the last corner and had too big of a gear and let up the sprint too long and lost the stage. But it's good for our team. I think we should be 1st and 2nd, and it's good Tour de France.
Were you and Delgado working together in a sense today?
No. You know, you got team orders. I wasn't allowed to work, but it didn't really make. In the last climb, it made a lot of difference between Pedro lost 40 seconds, and we probably could have gained minutes over everybody else had I worked and Bugno worked. But everybody was wanting to win the stage and was too afraid to do more work than the other guy.
Earlier in the day, you had a crash.
Yeah, I crashed, dislocated my middle finger, and had to pull it out. put it back.
And that made a difference when you almost slipped in the last turn.
Well, yeah, I went to pull on my brakes and my fingers locked up. Straight, I couldn't bend it. And that's why I couldn't hit my brakes well enough. So I almost took the went down the last 300 meters.
And now what are you expecting for the time trial tomorrow?
I don't know. No time trials aren't my specialty. I hope to have a good one, but I don't expect to win. I expect to be close.
You have a superstition about the L'Alpe d'Huez stage.
Well, I said it's not so bad that I lost, because it's always been the tradition that if you win L'Alpe d'Huez, you don't win the Tour de France. So it's maybe a good one. It's second. Maybe there's still a possibility of winning. If not, we've won the races as a team. Yes, thank you very much.
Well, Le Mans can now focus on tomorrow's vital time trial near Grenoble. The course climbs for 13 kilometres through 2,000 vertical feet to a plateau, and it ends with another sharp climb near Villard-de-Lans. It's a ride of 33.5 kilometres. This is Marina Larreta, one of the dark horses, who sets out with great determination. The 34 years old Spaniard is one of the best climbers in the world. He loves the Tour de France as well. Larreta's time is easily the fastest so far, and he catches several riders on his way. At the finish, he records 57 minutes 46 seconds, lifting him into the top 10 overall. Meanwhile, out on the course, Indurain is another favourite for the stage, despite having lost 12 minutes at Alpe d'Huez, where he sacrificed his Tour chance for Delgado. With 1 kilometre to go, he's a few seconds ahead of Larreta. And he finishes just 9 seconds quicker. Indurain's teammate Delgado won a time trial like this in his winning 1988 Tour. And he's putting in a similar effort this time for a possible repeat performance. By the time he finishes, he'll be leading by 13 seconds. One rider hoping to better Delgado's time is Greg LeMond, who, against his instinct, is using a disc wheel for the hill climb. The American does indeed struggle on the longest climb, and is 20 seconds slower than Delgado at this point after 22 kilometres. LeMond makes use of his aero bars and disc wheel on the flat, but he toils up the final steep gradient. And at the line, he falls short by 26 seconds of Delgado's time. The world champion's not interested now in talking to the media. Only Eric Breukink can now displace Pedro Delgado. The Dutchman is a smooth, powerful peddler, whose poker face doesn't reveal the energy he expends. Eric Breukink finishes in 56 minutes 52 seconds, the best time by 30 seconds. Now comes the battle for the yellow jersey. Claudio Chiappucci has to make up 88 seconds to overcome Ronan Pensek. The 27-year-old Italian has a jerky style, but nonetheless, he is climbing very quickly. He confidently tackles the final hill, and then he sprints across the finishing line in 57 minutes 57 seconds, the 8th best time. But is it too good for Pensek? The yellow jersey is labouring up the final climb. Unlike on Alpe d'Huez, the weight on his shoulders today was just too much. Ronan Pensek finishes 49th. He's lost almost 3 minutes to Claudio Chiappucci, and the yellow jersey has gone in this Tour de France for good. It's the first yellow jersey for Italy in 20 years. Chiappucci has emerged from the Alps with a 7 minutes lead over the favourites. That's an